Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. No, I'm not in Sun City, Arizona. I'm in Surprise, Arizona. Go figure. Oh, hang on. Got to cross that one off from last night. We're on to this one. Okay. Just making sure I'm keeping my days sorted. So welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast, coming to you live from Surprise, Arizona. It is episode 1461 with day 1, year 5, where to next? What's going to happen? If you joined us last night, you would have seen the celebration that we had. We had Casey on, and Casey is the guy who inspired, suggested, advised, told me he had a challenge, and I said, okay. And he says, I want you to do a Facebook Live every day for a year. I went, okay. And here we are, day 1 of year 5. So you would have seen that last night if you had joined with us last night. So if you missed that video, just go to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Helen Brahms, and you'll be able to watch the replay. That we had a great discussion on all that's happened over the past 4 years. It's been an incredible, incredible journey. And it's sort of like, okay, you're now starting year 5. What are you doing next? And so I've been kind of thinking about this today. And, I wrote in where to next. I thought, that looks familiar. Why does that look familiar? Okay, so we have relaunched, as some of you may know, if you've been watching over the last 4 years, that we put the travel business on hold for a while during the global pause, and we are now rebooting. And some of you may have got our magazine, Where to Next? See, Where to Next? And I've got to show you this too, because I was browsing through my copy of it. Oh, I love the touchy-feelies of magazines. Yeah, I'm not an online person when it comes to magazines. Oops, hang on. There's a page in here you got to see. And it's full of all of these really cool travel deals that are in there. And on the back here is listed free travel gifts that you get based on what you book. There's different places in here, different cruise lines, different resorts mentioned, different destinations mentioned. But the one I wanted to show you was, because I got super excited to see this picture, because it's one of my favorite places to go. Oh, where did it go? Oh, I know it's in here. No, that was Alaska. Keep going. Is it beyond Alaska? Can't be beyond. Oh, there it is. It's in the exotics. So I was super excited to see this particular picture. This is an iconic, the big main picture with the tree and the lake. That is an iconic scene in New Zealand. That is Lake Wanaka. And they have the tree there that is just growing there in the lake. It's not far from the shore, but I was super excited to see that. And then that's the Southern Alps behind. So you got Lake Wanaka there. So if anybody has ever been to Lake Wanaka, they would recognize this straight away. But I was super excited to see that in there under exotics. And I thought, oh, New Zealand's gone exotic now. Woohoo! But this has a lot of really cool stuff in there. The Mekong Fire and Ice. They didn't actually have... Yeah, so that's where that picture is from, if you're there. But they've got a whole bunch of different stuff in here. Every page, just like... They've got tips to keep you healthy on the road. They've got... this thing is full of info. If you want a copy sent to you, and you haven't received one, please let me know, because I can pop one in the mail. Yes, pop one in the mail so you get a physical copy. How cool is that? And somewhere in here... Oh, yeah, they have all of these different QR codes in here that you can scan to learn more information. So not only is it a really cool 56-page magazine, but there's QR codes in there that take you to different... So it's actually a bigger magazine. That's really cool. But, and if you go to the link that's scrolling across the bottom, havetocruise.com/contest, you can enter in to win a 3-night stay for 2 in the Dominican Republic, and it is courtesy of Dreams Resorts and Spas. So if you want to enter that competition, just go to the link that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen, fill out the form, and you get more, and you'll even get more entries if you refer people as well. But you don't have to, it's completely up to you. And if you want a copy of this magazine, drop me a private message and I will be more than happy to connect with you and get one sent out to you. So that's the first one on the list, is that Before the Dirt Nap Adventures is up and running. You always get those little bits in the, that's the lip balm stuff. Anyway, so we're back to traveling again. We're concentrating more on groups. Our specialty destination, of course, is New Zealand, Australia, and the South Pacific. It doesn't mean to say you can't book other places, but if it is a destination that I don't know very well, I have a team of people who are specialists in other destinations like I am for New Zealand. I have a team of people who grew up in different countries around the world and travel professionals, and they specialize in the countries that they're from, like I do for New Zealand. So you might get referred over to them, but that's okay, because I still keep an eye on everything and see what's going on and everything else, and just to help make sure that everything gets moved, because I want to make sure our goal here is to make sure that you get the best vacation. It may be the one and only time you're going to be traveling to that country. So we want to make sure that you get that that wow experience. That's what we're all about. And that's part of living your best life now, is, you know, you want to travel to these places. So we want to make sure that you get the wow experience that you're wanting. Especially if it's a dream vacation, if it's a dream trip and you want to get off the beaten path and learn some of the local tips and things that the locals know that the tourists don't. We love doing that sort of stuff. So, and then of course we've got the Before the Dirt Nap Adventures, which are once in a lifetime, never to be repeated itineraries. We've got coming up in December next year, the Caribbean Pirates. We're going to be on the sailing ship. Star Flyer, which is an incredible sailing ship. They've got, if you did the preview for the presentation, they've got those masts that they have like 38 sails on. So if you want to go 38 sails, think of the galleon ships that used to have all of those masts. They had the masts and they had multiple sails on. That's what you're going to be experiencing, and you'll be and we'll be sailing, actually sailing with sails out and the wind pushing us along into different directions. And we're going to be doing the Treasure Islands, which are part of the British Virgin Islands. And we're going to be doing, the day before the cruise, we're going to be doing a tour around St. Martin, both the Dutch side and the French side. And you get to see how two different cultures occupy one island, which is really cool. And you get to hear the stories and that sort of stuff. And you get to hear pirate stories, and, make sure you bring your pirate costume for pirate night. And we're going to have a scavenger hunt for different things as we go along. So we're going to make it kind of special and interesting and that sort of thing as well. So, but there's going to be more of those coming out. There's going to be more of the Before the Dirt Nap Adventures coming out. So keep an eye out for those. If you want to join the, oh my gosh, I should be having, actually, if you just go diving into the description of the video, down there are links. Actually, we're on the thingy, is it? In the video description, right there at the top, there's the Join the Before the Dirt Nap newsletter. That is going to be for those that want to, and we also have beforethedirtnapadventures.com that you can go and register, so you get first notification. Those that are registered in the newsletters or with the Be the First to Know are going to get emailed as soon as we get the next adventure ready, and you're going to have 72 hours to respond as to whether or not you want to go. So you're getting first option. And then as soon as we announce it on one of these podcasts, that's when it goes live to the public. So and there's going to be a few settings, like the Caribbean Pirates. We're only taking 20 people. I'm number 21, so we're only going to be keeping it to 20 people. So these are some of the things that are going to be coming out, and we have some amazing destinations that are going to be coming out that I'm working on in the background. And I'm super excited. When it's time to release them, we will be releasing them. There's no set schedule on releasing them right now, but we're working on that. It's all in the background working. Other things you're going to be hearing over the next year will be genealogy tips, hints and tips for genealogy. You'll also be learning about family history. There is a difference. You've got 3 components to doing research. You have the DNA. The DNA is the link between, the DNA proves the blood relation, but it doesn't tell you how you are related. Genealogy is all about the facts and the figures, the names, the dates and places they were born, they died, they got married, who they got married to. It's the facts, and the genealogy helps prove how the blood relation works, or how you're blood related. So DNA proves that you are related by blood. Genealogy proves how you are related and what that relationship is. Family history are the stories. Those are the ones that, you hear those rumors from your family that, oh, that we don't talk about that uncle anymore. Why not? Well, yes, we just don't talk about him. And now you want to know why. So family history is digging into the story behind the people. You've got the facts and the figures and stuff, but then with using newspapers and journals and other resources and stuff, we can actually build a story about this person and what their life was like or may have been like. So you've got those 3 components to figuring out everything in your family tree. You got the DNA for the blood relatives. You've got the genealogy to prove how they are related, and it's all the facts and figures. And then you have the history, which brings in the stories, be it newspaper articles, be it journal entries, be it rosters, be it military record files, whatever. We will dig deep into those family histories and stuff. And we're going to be bringing you experts in different areas. We're going to be bringing you different stories. I have some clients, and if they allow me to tell their story, we will. There's some fascinating stories coming up. If I get approval for the clients to tell those stories, there are some amazing stories coming up, and we'll drip feed them out throughout the year and stuff like that. So you're going to be getting to hear some family stories and how they tie into historical moments, because history is another part of working out where you came from and who you are and who came before you, who's been forging that path before you. Because we always talk about, we're walking in the footsteps of our ancestors. They have already paved the way they've already paved the way for us. We're following along and improving as we go. So yes, we're following in their footsteps to a degree, but we're also creating new paths for those coming behind us to follow. And so we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be tying family stories to moments in history. What connections do they have? So we're going to be working on that as well. So there'll be other things that you'll get to see over the next year. So you've got travel, we've got genealogy coming in there with all the family history and the stories, and you'll get history lessons along the way, because there's some really cool historical stories out there that may not be as well known as some of the other ones out there. And you never know, that story might trigger off like a memory or a spark or something about that where that particular historical event took place. Maybe it has a tie into your family. Maybe you had families that lived in the area. Would they have been involved in that? And now you've got a story to go follow. So it's helping find those links between historical events and your family as well. So we'll be bringing you some stories about historical events. We'll be bringing you some amazing, amazing guests that are going to help, that are going to provide different resources and things on how you can live your best life now. Everything we are doing in this next coming year is what we've been doing for the last year, helping you live your best life now, not waiting until you turn whatever the retirement age is these days, and then taking time to travel or do, build that house or whatever. We want you to live your best life now. And life is short. This is one of the things that on Brad's cancer journey that we learned, and we learned the hard lesson of this. Back after his first journey, after the first part of the journey with the cancer, when we had beaten the cancer, it was gone, and we thought, yes, and he just had to do these checkups and everything else. And the further out we got from his cancer free and from him being cancer free, the less chance there was of it coming back. He was under 5%. When his cancer came back, he was in that 5% group of the cancer coming back. And the further out you got it, the less it got. So it was less than 5% has the cancer return once you're this far out. But before that part, I did a workshop on public speaking. And it was a very interesting workshop. Somehow I ended up on stage having to share my story. And my story was about the 3 lessons that we learned on Brad's cancer journey. Laughter is the best medicine. Absolutely, by far, it is the best medicine, because if you can't because laughter helps keep the spirits high. It helps keep your vibrations high. And when your vibration is high, it is coming from a place of love and gratitude. And well, that part I learned later on. So I'm just adding to that little bit that I did back there. But it comes from a place of love. Laughter comes from a place of love and gratitude. And it helps keep your vibration high. And when your vibration is high and you're coming from that place of love and gratitude, you are more open to receiving more of that energy that can help your body heal. But we learned the gift of laughter. We learned the true value of a hug, how to give an effective hug. A hug is not just like, hey, it's great to see you. Well, how are you doing? A hug is actually a real hug that conveys, that has one soul talking to the other person's soul. It's a soul to soul connection. And it's when you don't know the words to say, you want to welcome somebody and that's in tough circumstances. I used to stand at the front door of our cancer caregiver group back in Virginia, and everybody that walked through that door got a hug when they arrived. And I made sure everybody got a hug before they left. Even new people. It was like, oh, you're new? Excellent. Welcome. Whoof. I didn't even know their name. They had just walked in the door and they got a hug. And a true hug is at least 30 seconds long. And that's long enough for a soul and soul to connect and to express through the hug that you're grateful that they're there. You're excited to meet them. Everything is going to be okay. Whether their loved one passes or not, it is going to be okay. It's helping you express those emotions that you can't vocally express. So when you're giving a true hug, you got the souls coming together and passing those messages across to each other. It's a give and receive. The true value of a hug. And the third thing that we learned was that life is short. You never know when it's time for you to pass from this plane of existence to the next plane of existence. There's no date. Is it tough when you feel like people have gone early? Yeah, but it was their time to go. And that is one thing that I learned with Brad when he passed. It was his time to go. Would I wanted more time with him? Absolutely. Absolutely would love more time with him. But then I look back and I think, if I had more time with him, where would I be today? What would I be doing? Would I be here? Starting day one of 5 years of lives. Would I be here doing this if I had more time with him? There's times when I'm out, when I was traveling in the RV, and think, oh, it would be so great to have Brad driving and me in the passenger seat, and we could switch it out. And that means we could get more traveling done in one day, because I was having to do things in little snippets, because I could only physically and mentally cope with driving a certain distance or a certain number of hours in the RV. And I learned that one the hard way with my parents in the RV and wanting to pull over in the middle of some canyon somewhere in Utah on our way from Vegas to Moab, because we were just going up across the top, down into another canyon, across the bottom of the canyon, up the other side, down the other side. It was just canyon after canyon after canyon that we're going up one side, down the other, up one side, down the other, across the floor, type of thing. It was a 12-hour, it ended up being a 12-hour trip, even though Google Maps told us it was going to be 6 hours, but that was car driving time, not RV driving time, which is a different speed. And so, learning things like that. What would it have been like to have, would we even been able to do that trip if Brad was still alive? Because we would have had myself, my parents, and Brad in the RV. We had 3 people in the RV. My mum and dad, I gave them the bed in the back, and I slept, and I pulled the couch out each night and made up my bed there, and that's where I slept. And it really wasn't any big enough. The jackknife sofa is really only big enough for one person. You'd have to be very tiny people. Like 2 kids could fit on there, not a problem at all. 1 adult though. so would we have this? But would we have had sparkles? Would we have actually bought another RV? Would we have gone and bought a house? There's all these sort of questions, and it's Brad went when he was supposed to go. so that I could be here in this moment in time doing what I need to do, which is to help people live their best life now. So, it's all well and good to go, well, if this happened or if that, yeah, you can't go down the if road. It'll just take you off another thing that will get you, that can actually engage your memories. But the lesson we learned is that life is short. For some people, it is shorter than others. Even if you live to be 100, it is still a short life in the comparison of the time. If you look at time, the number of years that this earth has been in existence, and you look at the time, your life, no matter how much you're on here, is just a speck along that timeline. But it's how you live that dash. And that's one thing that with genealogy and doing family history and all of that and pulling all of that together, you're putting together the dash of the people. You've got your ancestors, that when they were born this year, they died this year. How did they live their dash? If you've never seen the poem, The Dash, go look up The Dash and read that poem. And with between DNA, genealogy, and family history, we can help you discover the dash that your ancestors lived. Oh, wow. I'd never thought of that before. I just came up with that. So we're helping you fill in the dash of your ancestors to see how did they live, where did they live. In some areas, in some places, you can actually go back and see the houses that they used to live in. Thanks to census reports and stuff that will give you the addresses. Are those houses still there? Have they been knocked down? Has something else been put up in its place? But being able to walk the neighborhoods where your ancestors grew up, and seeing exciting, and learning about the area and that sort of stuff. So there is a lot that we've got coming up over the next year. I hope you join us on the journey that we are taking. And in between all of that, there's going to be some books coming out too. What they're going to be about, I don't know yet. I have ideas written up the wazoo on books, different things. We may do some on genealogy. We'll do some on genealogy. We'll do some on Brad's story, or my story of my journey with Brad. That book's kind of partially written. It just needs a rewrite because we only wrote it on the first 18 months. And by the time I was getting ready to publish that, his cancer came back. So we kind of had to change not change the story. We have to add to it. And what's been holding me up the most are the emotions that come up every time I start writing about it, because it's taking me back to some dark times for me. It's also taking me back to, wonderful. I get emotional writing about our story. I get emotional when I talk about our story. So that's why I talk fast, because then the emotions don't have a chance to snag and get caught and overtake me. But sometimes they do anyway. But there's going to be a lot of stuff coming up over the next year. Think about, here's a homework assignment for you. What does your best life now look like? If somebody came to you, if money and time were not an issue, what would your best life look like now? And think about that. And we're also going to give you, we're going to have guests coming on that's going to help you set those goals, realize those dreams, share their stories of living their best life now. So we've got a great thing lined up for the next year. I hope you join us on this journey. We would be honored to have you on this journey with us over the next 366 days, because next year's a leap year. Yes. So it was on April 1st, 2019 that I started my first live. So yesterday we celebrated the end of 4 years. Today we're celebrating the beginning of year 5. It is going to be an incredible time coming up over the next 12 months. I already know of 3 trips I'm going to be taking in the next year, which is more than I did this. Well, 3 trips as in international cruise ships, and looking at some of the challenges of making sure I can do my lives can I do my lives from a cruise ship? Is that going to screw me up? Can I do my lives from New Zealand? Well, I know I can, because my parents have internet connections, so that would work. But it's making sure I get them on at the right time. Let's see, December I'll be down there. They'll be in daylight savings. I won't here, so it's either going to be 4 or 5 hour. I've either got to subtract 4 or 5 hours and make it the next day in order to, and then of course we've got my flight. Now here's the interesting thing. When I leave LA on my flight to New Zealand, I actually lose a day. So if I leave on a Tuesday, I will arrive on a Thursday. What happens to Wednesday? Well, when I get down to New Zealand, I can do a live from the airport possibly, or before I get to the airport, do a live at that point. Then the next live you will see will be when, if I leave on a Tuesday, I arrive on Thursday, but it's still Wednesday back here in the States. Now this is going to confuse some people. This is the whole time zone thing. So if I will be doing my live around, let's see, 4 or 5 hours from 6 would be around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon in New Zealand. So my flight would get in. I would be at my parents' place. I would have just gotten off a plane. They would have picked me up. We would have got home. We would have had lunch. And then I'd be doing a live. And that would come out on Wednesday here in the States. Now, the interesting one is going to be, it's going to screw everybody up. So then when I fly home, I will leave New Zealand on, I don't know, I don't even remember what day it is, on like a Wednesday, I think it is. Leave New Zealand on a Wednesday, but when I get back in the States, it's still Wednesday. I'm actually going to arrive in the States before I leave New Zealand, just to totally screw you up. So that live from the last live from New Zealand will probably be done in an airport. So now I'm relying on airport internet twice, once in LA, once in Auckland. And then I get on the flight and I get home. And when I get back to the US, it's still going to be Wednesday. Yeah. Although actually when I do the one from New Zealand, it'll be Tuesday back here. So that'll be fine. Yeah, working out the time difference and stuff and making sure I keep all my days in there. So it's going to be a challenge. And then bandwidth on a cruise ship, that's going to be a challenge too. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes when we're on a cruise ship and out in the middle of the ocean, out in the Caribbean. Yeah, I think where am I going? I'm going on one in January. I don't even know where I'm going in January. I'm going on a cruise ship in January, about a week after I get back from New Zealand. So I'll get back from New Zealand. I think it's the 7th I get back from New Zealand. And then on the 17th, I'm off on the 15th, I'm off on another cruise. I'm off on a week-long cruise. I don't even know where it's going. It's just with my mastermind group. So I'm just like, yep, whatever. I missed February. I missed the one in February because I came back from a wedding in Tampa with COVID. I got hit with COVID on that time. I avoided it for 3 years, and it finally caught up with me. So, yeah. And so somebody said I'm not allowed to come back from New Zealand with COVID. I said, it's on. I'm going to have all my supplements with me. I'll have my oils with me. I'll have my patches with me. My defense system is not going to know what's hit it. It's going to be supercharged. So COVID's not going to know what it is and not going to be able to grab hold. But yes, I get on a cruise. And my poor dog's not going to know she won't have seen me for a month. She gets me at home for a week, and then she's back at the sitters for a week. But then I won't be leaving for a while after that. Yeah, my poor girl. So yes, we've got trips coming up that are going to be interesting when it comes to keeping the lives going. But we are determined to make it happen. We are going to do 366 more lives in the next year. We've already got day 1 off. So we've got 365 left to get to the end of year 5. So we're going to do it. Despite what obstacles we're going to come over. It's like when I was driving with the RV, there were places we didn't get internet connection at all. We got no cell service. So I would record the live at the time it was supposed to be recorded, and then as soon as we got into cell phone service, we could get that thing uploaded. So we may have to do that as well. Although I really don't want to do that from a cruise ship. Wait 7 days. You guys will think I've fallen off the face of the earth. We're going to make it happen. Anyway, so come join us on this journey for the next 365, because we're already down one, the next 365 days when we get to the end of year 5. We're going to be having a lot of fun, a lot of adventures coming up. There's going to be some really cool stuff. There's going to be giveaways over the year. I've got a whole list of stuff that I want to do in the next year. How much of it will come to fruition, I don't know. Hopefully most of it. Hopefully all of it. There's going to be more courses I'm going to be taking, that I'll be dragging you guys along with me. So come on this journey with us for the next year. You know, we're going to take one day at a time. We're going to have some more resident guests coming up as well. So we've got Nicole, who comes on the second Tuesday of every month. We're going to have Chris Dyer coming back as a monthly guest as well. We're just sorting out which day of the month she's going to come on. And we've got some other ones lining up as well. So we're lining up some great guests for you. What else are we doing? Yeah, it's just going to be a wild ride over the next 365 days, because we've already done day 1. So we're now down to 365 left for the next year. So challenge yourself to something that you want to do every day consistently, and let's see if you can get 66 of them done. Get one done today, whatever it is. If it's doing a live, go do a live. If it's only a 10-second live or 15-second live or a 30-second one or 1 minute, just get the camera, just pull up your phone and pull up the thing and just go do it. You know, people go, oh, but my hair's not. Do you ever see me with perfect hair? You know, I don't even have makeup on most of the time. I sit here in t-shirts. Sometimes you get the sparkly ones out. You know, if I can just be real, you don't have to be perfect. As we said last night, the first 50 will suck. And I will tell you this, after doing 1,461 days of lives, and some of them for like a year or two were twice a day, there was some in there that sucked. But just be real, be who you are, just bring your personality onto the camera. And the other thing is, don't give a crap of what anybody thinks. If nobody watches it, so what? Just do it again the next day and just keep adding on each day. So if you want to join us on a 365-day challenge, 366-day challenge, go for it. Whatever it is that you want to do for consistently for a year, start now. That's your challenge for today. Start now. If you want to do it 30 days, then add on another 30 days and then another 30 days. You know, just go month by month. Feel free. You know, we can celebrate together on July 31st next year, when we celebrate 5 years of doing these lives. We can celebrate with you for accomplishing your goals. Yeah, I like that. I actually like that idea. Maybe we will even have some prizes. I don't know. That's a year out. I'm going to think some more. But anyway, go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Hei konera.